Hello and welcome. This is going to be a test run of the Cave Diver mod. As you can see, I have it loaded right here. Everything that I'm about to show is still work in progress and subject to change. But I figured it would be a good idea. I've done a lot of videos going over individual mechanics and items that this mod contains, but I haven't really done a demonstration to show how it all kind of comes together. So we're going to do that. We're just going to go with a normal run. So, just a quick overview of what this mod is. This is Cave Diver. It adds a bunch of new mechanics related to underwater exploration. This includes a number of new items, a reworked drowning system, and also a special game mode, which is currently enabled by default, which forces every layer to be a flooded modifier at double strength. As you'll soon see, Gravellands is not just flooded, it is super flooded. So we will have to interact with a lot of the new mechanics because of that. So if I go ahead and open the crafting menu, and I go over to Utilities and I scroll down, you'll see we have some new items here. These are the swim goggles. They let you see clearly underwater. The makeshift fins let you move a little faster on the horizontal axis underwater. The life vest makes you float. It can save you if you're too weak, if you're too exhausted to swim. If you put it on, it'll make you float to the surface, and it'll keep your head above the water. So it can be very helpful. And then the weight belt is kind of like the opposite of the life vest. It makes you sink. And that might seem useless or really dangerous, but if you have to get through Lumalgi, it will make you sink in Lumalgi, so you can use it to navigate past it. And in some of my earlier test runs, I have had an instance where the only path forward is blocked by Lumalgi, so I added that item. So if we go ahead and just do some of our early game stuff. I don't really need clean water because there's water everywhere. It's at least one thing you don't have to worry about is dying of thirst in this mode, this super flooded mode. What's a lot more of a concern is hypothermia. So one of the first things we want to do is we want to make a flimsy knife, because we need a flimsy knife to build swim goggles. And once we have swim goggles, it will make navigating through the water way nicer because we'll actually be able to see clearly. So when we inevitably have to do some swimming, we'll at least be able to see what we're doing. Alright, we got our flimsy knife. So that's we're already off to a good start. And now, in order to make swim goggles, what we need, we're going to need some more intelligence, but we'll need rope, chunk of plastic, plexiglass, and some biochem fluid, and we'll be able to make swim goggles. And those should last us a pretty good amount of time. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of fentanyl. One thing I've noticed in doing some of these test runs is because you have to enter water so frequently, hypothermia is a very big concern, and so you're gonna want to exercise frequently to get some more body heat. Okay, look at this. So this life pod pump is clearing all the water out of the life pod that keeps flowing in. One thing to note is that if you have an air tank, which I don't even think I have enough intelligence to show in the crafting menu yet. Yeah, it's like intelligence 12, I think. Air tanks can be refilled with life pod pumps, but it breaks them. So you have to be careful of that. Now, one thing I would like to add eventually is a a new layer that specifically is designed to take advantage of all the new underwater mechanics. But as of right now, in this pre-release version of the game, before the full version comes out, we do not have access to easy custom layer tools. But those are coming, and they will be released when the full game releases. Okay, so this is looking a lot more like what I'm used to seeing when testing this mod. Although usually by now I would have a pair of swim goggles. Oh, but we're at the bottom of layer 1, so let's keep going. Alright, this is what I'm used to seeing. It gets very flooded. As you can see, it can get kind of overwhelming. Especially in layer 2 because there's so much lumalgi and it mixes with the water and just makes more lumalgi. So we are gonna have to... Oh, nope! I thought I could sneak past it. We got a chest drain. And a life vest, what do you know? Awesome, so we actually pulled a custom item. That's great. So now I can demonstrate the life vest because it is very helpful. But first, let's take a nap. So I think now is a good time to show the life vest. So let me put it on. So if I jump in this water, you'll see even if I relax and go into ragdoll, it keeps my head above the water and it keeps me floating on the surface. Now, I haven't tested it with every single liquid, but water is the least dense, so generally it should work with all of them. Before I go in there, let me actually toss these and make swim goggles. So now we have swim goggles. We should be able to see below the water. So if I go ahead and jump in here, yep, we can see clearly. There's a little bit of inherent blur. And we can pretty comfortably get very deep down. You might notice that there's now bubble particle effects. That's something new. We're getting pretty cold though. So we aren't super concerned about drowning because we can always just take out our life vest and put it on. And that'll help us swim to the surface without having to expend any stamina, right? Because we could just float up here. So that got us to the surface. We do need to cool off though. Actually, what am I doing? I have that rag, don't I? Okay, but yeah, that life vest can come in handy because it can help you reach the surface without using any stamina. So if you're totally exhausted, it can save your life. It can save you from drowning. Let's grab some more rope. If we want to make fins, I believe we need some rope. Rope, string, 2 chunks of plastic. Now if we go down here, we can see some of the higher tier items. We got the advanced scuba gear, which is vanilla. We got the diving mask, which is a new item. The diving mask is better than the swim goggles. It lasts longer, and it can once either the diving mask or the swim goggles gets below 50% durability, it will start to slowly leak, and you cannot clear the water from them without going back at the surface, taking them off, and putting them back on again if they're swim goggles. But if it's a diving mask, you can do what's called clearing the mask, where you sort of hold it on your face. You apply pressure to a certain part of the mask, and then you exhale very strongly through your nose, and that will blow all of the water that's in the mask out and replace it with the air that was in your lungs. So if you've ever wondered why scuba divers don't just use regular swim goggles and they use full face masks, that's why. Is this a duffel bag? It is. So a duffel bag will be good until we can make an air tank. But to make an air tank, we need an oxygen crystal. And I don't think I have seen a single one. I think all the crystals I've seen were relief crystals. Looks like we're gonna have to dive down here and see what's in store. So we'll put our life vest in our duffel bag and we will take the plunge. So it looks like a lot of this water is flowing down. That's probably because we are right at the end of the layer. So all this water is actually probably flowing down to the bottom, because I believe it despawns when it hits the bottom. There we go. Layer 2 complete. Let's actually put our life vest back on, just in case we fall into some oil. And I think can I store this in my belt? Okay. Well, here we go. This is looking a lot more flooded. So we'll take our life vest and we'll put it in our backpack. We'll take the plunge. Got a grab bag that only has 11% battery. So what we can do is we can actually remove the battery from it. Reuse that. And we're gonna get exhausted very quickly trying to swim back up, so we'll just put the life vest back on and we'll just float up. Wetsuit, here we go. So the wetsuit, for one, you can hold it. I think all of my custom wearables allow you to hold them, and that's so that you can throw them to people in multiplayer. Like if someone is drowning and needs an air tank, you can just throw them one. That was kind of the logic behind it. If we equip the wetsuit, what it does is it will keep us warm in the water, but only when it is wet. The way that wetsuits in real life work is they trap a layer of water between themselves and your skin, and then that layer of water is heated by your body heat, and that's what keeps you warm. So, following suit in the mod, the wetsuit doesn't give a lot of insulation when it's dry. However, once it gets wet, either from being submerged or just having you be wet, it will start doing a lot more insulation. Okay, I don't actually think I got it wet. Okay, so now that I got wet, we can see our body insulation jumped up to like 110 to 150. So we got a lot more insulation now that the wetsuit is wet. And for those of you who don't know, insulation always works in your favor. If you are too hot, it will cool you off, and if you are too cold, it will heat you up. It always works in your favor. So if you are in the desert and you are wearing a hoodie, you might think, oh, the hoodie's going to make me hotter. Well, it will actually cool you off. This is actually a super flooded area, wow. Look at how flooded this is. So what we can do is we can break this and get the water flowing, but it's also going to pull us down. Let's see if the life vest actually compensates. It does! Okay. Now this thing should keep us above the water for the most part. There we go. I think we're stable. Oh, we're getting washed away again. This is also something you need to be mindful of in real life if you're doing any diving, is you can't really swim against currents. Fins can help you. They do make you like way faster, and it's a lot less exhausting to swim with fins, but they are not strong enough to let you swim against a current. It's not happening. So you have to be very careful with that. We're actually getting pretty thirsty, so let's get some apple juice. And we are also getting tired, so let's actually bail out of here and spend the night in this pod. Okay, well, we're still not super close to the end, so all of this liquid draining, it might be draining into the bottom of the map and oh. So a few of you might have noticed there, my goggles came off. Blows to the head will make you lose your swim goggles or diving mask if you are wearing one. So you need to be very careful of that, because you can find yourself walking around, doing just fine, and then getting hit on the head, losing your goggles or your mask, and then falling into water, and so that you can't see anything. So that can be very distressing. Watch that bear trap. Okay, we got... Oh! Okay, well, we know that there's a turret there now. It looks like it's right here. It shot right all the way through. So that is something we need to be concerned about. Yeah, there it is. Now we could try to disarm it. I'm a bit concerned about this stalactite right here, though. We're already half deaf. So this is where all the liquid's draining. We can see we got an oil pipe flowing down here. Now if I had an air tank, I would be pretty gung-ho and just be jumping down in here, but since I don't, it's more of a concern. And we do have a... Well, that's a every time I see a turbulent crystal, I mistake it for an oxygen crystal. Because I think the swirl is like for the wind. And when I think of wind, I think of air, and when I think of air, I think of oxygen. I don't know if that's just me. Oh yeah, this is pretty treacherous. We got some poor unfortunate souls down here. But we do have the life vest. And that will keep us afloat, even if we get washed away in a current, but we can still get trapped. Okay, we got another very flooded area right up here. this is already getting kind of concerning because of this current caused by this flowing. I think there's an oil pipe. Yeah, there's one up here. So let's go down this way. Let's just stuff away our thing and go for a plunge. Okay, well, there's a rifle mag down here, but aside from that, there isn't really anything helpful. So we can just take our life vest out and put it back on. Alright, what can we craft? Well, we can't make an air tank. We already got the wetsuit. We could make a diving mask. How was our swim goggles looking at? Swim goggles 74%. Yeah, I definitely need to make them decay faster because they are lasting a very, very long time for an item that's supposed to be like an early game, very much temporary, means to an end sort of thing. Look at that, we reached the bottom. You can see a lot of the water is draining into here. Let's keep going. Layer 4 is when things get really dangerous. Because of two things. One is radiation, and the other is sound cannons. If you're hit by an underwater sound cannon, you better hope you have an LRD or protocoagulant or something, because if you don't, you're probably going to die. So we need to be careful with all of that. Rebreather takes... Okay, the rebreather does take an oxygen crystal and titanium. So we're probably not getting that. Same with the VCD. The VCD takes a ton of shit. Actually, it's... We might be able to do this. Auto-injector, bundle of wires, circuit board, belt. Probably the most expensive thing on here is the auto-injector. Here we go. Alright, look at this. This is starting to look flooded. Oh my goodness, we have a BCD. Alright. We can get rid of that trash and use the BCD now. So the BCD stands for Buoyancy Control Device. It is essential scuba diving equipment. It is actually what your air tank attaches to. It's like a... The BCD is like, it's kind of like a life vest, but like fancier, and has like a mechanical aspect to it. So again, it's like a harness that you put on, and it's got pouches that you can put weights in, a couple of pockets, I think. Usually the strap has like an emergency whistle on it, and you attach your tank to it. It's what you actually strap your air tank in, and you also hook it up to your air tank. And the way that it works in real life is it has a button on it, and when you press and hold that button down, air is drawn from your tank and used to inflate the BCD. And when the BCD is inflated, it increases your buoyancy. And then it also has a second button which you press and hold, and that releases air from the BCD, decreasing your buoyancy. So, as the name implies, the buoyancy control device is for controlling your buoyancy. And in real life, it's you have to actively manage it to keep your buoyancy neutral, so that you don't float or sink, and you just kind of stay level and weightless in the water. Now, in this game, the BCD works automatically, so it will automatically maintain neutral buoyancy to the best of its ability. So if I just get in the water here, you'll see that I am not sinking, and I can just swim up or swim down. And swimming up and down, this isn't costing me any stamina, because I'm just either floating or sinking. This is being controlled by the BCD. So it's not like I'm having to swim by repeatedly jumping. Rather, I can just float or sink at will. And this is what makes the BCD so strong. Now, when you're wearing it, it does disable drinking liquids. That's just to make it so that you don't, as you're holding down to sink, you don't just keep drinking whatever you're swimming in. So you will have to take it off when you want to drink water, but it's not too big of a deal. It's just a little minor inconvenience. I'd say totally worth it considering all the benefits the BCD gives you. And now one thing I'm debating on doing is making it so that the BCD makes you float if you're unconscious. Like if it detects that you're unconscious, it will just float you to the surface. I'm not sure whether I should implement that or just keep it so that it always maintains neutral buoyancy. That's something that I'd have to get feedback on from playtesters, see if that would be a good feature. Okay, we are getting very hungry though, so we need to find something to eat. Okay, we got some cactus right here. Yeah, here was the other sound cannon. There's mini barrel. So as you can see, the BCD is very strong. We're actually almost at the end of the layer. Yep, we can just mosey on down here. Wait, there were some chips. I saw that. Soup. Float on up. Eat some chips. And some little tasty soup. Yeah, our swim goggles are not. Uh-oh. Ugh. Okay, so we threw up blood. Okay. It's not great, but it's better than throwing up what we just ate. So let's actually take our LRD and use it on our chest. That should reduce the internal bleeding. Here we are on layer 5. Ooh, we spawned right in the middle of a flooded section, and we are freezing to death. Yeah, that's already an issue. We're also getting rather... We're getting pretty slim. And we still have a little bit of hemothorax. Didn't I get rid of the bleeding? Yeah, the bleeding's gone. Okay, so this is actually fairly treacherous because we can't really see shit when we're down there. We might have clear vision, but we don't have a light source. Okay, well, actually we do. We have this. So we'll just make use of our missive crystal. Okay. This is all kinds of messed up, honestly. Okay, our best bet might be... I don't know. See, we're not at much risk of drowning, because if we get too exhausted, we can just float back up. I'm more concerned about freezing to death, which is a very real possibility. This is not good. Okay, well, we just have to hope we don't freeze. Okay, we're good, we're good. take our BCD off so we can drink some water. Okay, get back on. Here we go. We're gonna go for a tumble. Okay, thankfully we didn't land on anything painful. We are still very freaking cold. If we die here, we're probably not gonna be rolling last stand because I don't think I've been keeping them very happy. Oh, thank you. I will gladly take this meat. Oh, that's not good. Is it below me? Okay. That definitely sounds like it coming towards me. Well, we do have the BCD, which gives us a lot of maneuverability in the water. I am concerned that if I try to go this way, I'm going to run into the salad. Okay, well, if it bites my leg off, I will be okay. I can survive an amputation. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Okay, well, it looks like the water is actually pushing him around a bit. Okay. What's he look like? Alright, he's gonna keep trying to follow us. Okay, we got an air pocket right here. I think there's another salad nearby. Yep, right down there. Okay, let's swap out our crystal. Okay. I'm not sure how we should go about this. I don't think there's much back here. There isn't much of a way forward back here. Except for another salad. And there is a very distinct possibility that we drown here. We need to get in. Here we go. Okay. As you can see, we're actually sinking a bit. Okay, we're getting pulled down at the water. Oh dear. And our blood pressure spiked. I think this might be it. We might be dead here. So this is actually the same issue I ran into last time I tested this. Which is that Lumalgi and salad pretty much means you can't do shit. You're just fucked. Because there's so much Lumalgi and the salads will force you to take routes you don't want to. still chasing me. Yeah, so this is like almost exactly what happened last time, except I didn't have a BCD, so I wasn't actually able to navigate the water. But essentially, a similar thing happened where I got cornered by a salad and an algae, and I was just eaten. It just ate me. That's a coil down there. Or actually, yeah, we're about to aspirate the water. Yep, we just did. Alright, we coughed the water back up, but we're leading heavily. Is this salad still not leaving us alone? Oh, yep. He just ate us again, and we got Lumalgi in our lungs. This is almost one-to-one exactly what happened to me last time. It's actually crazy. So, this previous playtest is what made me add the weight belt, which I essentially have right now because I have the BCD and it combines the functionality of the weight belt and the, the other thing, the life vest. Yeah, we are about to flatline. Yeah. Aspirated liquid again. So this brings up a balancing issue, which is, again, as you could see, I kind of just got fucked. And I don't know how much of that can be attributed to me making mistakes and just getting bullshit terrain generation. Because flooded jungle is already difficult, but like having the jungle with a double flooded modifier is just nuts. So I'm not sure how to address this issue. I'm not sure if I should just remove Lumalgi entirely, if I should patch it so that it doesn't propagate in water. Like if you have Lumalgi and it touches water, it doesn't turn all the water it touches into more Lumalgi. If I should get rid of just Lumalgi geysers or what, but as you saw, I got just thoroughly destroyed in jungle. Now granted, if I had an air tank, I probably could have gotten out of there because I would have been able to dig my way out, because I can regenerate stamina by breathing from the air tank. But because I didn't have that, it basically sealed my fate, and I drown even though I had, well, wasn't solely drowning that killed me, but it was certainly part of it. Even though I had, the BCD, which is the best underwater movement item in the game. So yeah, this is some of the stuff that I need to worry about when I am doing balance. I might change the air tank recipe so that it doesn't require an oxygen crystal. The reason I made it require an oxygen crystal is because the advanced scuba gear needs one, and that's like the base. That's the only scuba item that the base game has. And part of what my mod is doing is it's splitting the functionality of the advanced scuba gear across different items of different tiers and also making them better. So like having an air tank that you could refill. Like you can't refill the advanced scuba gear. Once it's gone, it's gone. The advanced scuba gear doesn't give you like the BCD free flowing movement, even though the advanced scuba gear, like visibly you can see has a mask. It doesn't improve your vision underwater at all. So that's sort of what this mod sort of rose from, is that hey, the underwater exploration mechanics in the base game are kind of lacking, which I found strange considering that there's the flood modifier, and then also just thematically as a cave exploration game, like the vast majority of subterranean caves in real life are just flooded, and you have to go cave diving in them, which is like monumentally dangerous. And that also kind of thematically fits with the game, all about doing things that are extremely dangerous. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I haven't tested to see if the mod works in multiplayer at all. That's something I want to do. But again, I'm gonna have to see if all of my, if like a vast majority of the people playtesting the mod like get just hard walled at jungle because they're encountering this sort of bullshit, then that's something I'm gonna have to figure out how to address. Either by making the air tank easier to craft, so that by the time you get to layer 5, you'll probably be able to have one if you know what you're doing, rather than being dependent on even if you get any O2 crystal spawns, because if you don't get any oxygen crystal spawns, you're just kind of fucked. So yeah, that or removing Lumalgi, which again has its own things. I want to try to make this mod as compatible with other mods in the vanilla game as possible. I want it to feel like a natural extension of vanilla mechanics. Yeah, that's honestly all I can really think about for now. But yeah, that's what a test run looks like. That's basically how my last test run that got to jungle happened too. Is I made it to jungle, I ran into a salad, I couldn't progress, I couldn't run away from the salad because of all the flooding, and I just got eaten. I was eaten and drowned at the same time. It was very unpleasant. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Please be patient. The mod is coming. These things, they take time. You take care.